We're back, people, and today we're taking a look at the Chiefs' defense. Little preview here for the Dolphins game, looking at what they do and what they do well, things they can struggle with. Now, I think a key to this game for the Dolphins' offense is running the ball successfully, at least semi-successfully, because that will help open up everything else. Their running game hasn't been as strong in the last few weeks, and the Chiefs' defense is a very good unit overall, but I wouldn't say like they're phenomenal versus the run. They're not terrible either, but there's definitely like times Chiefs do love to run single high. I think it'll be tough for them to run single high versus the Dolphins here in a two high look. Give up a nice little 6-yard run outside zone. Good read by the Broncos running back. Good blocking up front by the O-line. This is something you could see the Dolphins do effectively if they do get two high looks. When they do get two high looks, they have to be able to run the ball at least decent enough like this. And then when they get single high, they love to run cover one. As you'll see throughout this video, cover one. Yes, there'll be times where the Chiefs, might have good coverage on these receivers, but you can't run cover one man-to-man versus Hill and Waddle all game long. They're going to get some big plays versus that coverage, so it'll be interesting to see how the Chiefs respond, because they do like to do a lot of pre-snap disguises too, so as you'll see throughout this whole video. This is the first drive, and the Chiefs love to play, the cover one that I'm talking about, and they press too, which is the biggest part. Playing press man-to-man versus the Dolphins has not worked very well for a lot of teams. They think that's like the key to beating them. I think it was the key to beating this offense last year, is being able to get hands on these receivers. But now they've been so good at throwing the ball vertically down the field. If Tyreek gets one clean release, it could easily be a touchdown. So we'll see how the Chiefs end up, responding to that. They're still going to definitely run this coverage. It's their bread and butter, what they do a ton. They're running some cover one lurk here in this situation. The running backs or the linebackers, one will get the running back, the other one becomes a lurk defender over the middle. Just got to hit these things with timing, get open. The Chiefs' defensive backs are very good and very comfortable playing man-to-man. Just got to win that battle, and if Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle can play like they usually do, other receivers stepping up too, I think, Tyreek could see a bracket in certain situations. It's just going to be a very important schematic battle that they get the right call, and like the corners aren't just like guessing, because I'm guessing they're going to play hard inside leverage, so we'll see how it ends up playing out during the game. Another press man-to-man. This was a battle here versus Courtland Sutton. L'Jarius Sneed is a very good player. They get offensive pass interference. Later in the game, I think Sneed might have gotten called for 2, or at least I think Sutton drew 2 later on, so we'll see if PI ends up playing a big part. And it'll be a little bit different, because Sutton's a bigger body guy. If they play press man-to-man versus Tyreek, and they get this, wide open, area to work with, I think Tyreek can make these guys, pay for that. It's just Kentua and him do what they've been doing all year long, because if they're going to get more single high in this game than they've probably seen in quite some time, they got to be able to hit some big time plays. And I could see, in scenarios, if this was Tyreek Hill to this side, maybe the safety cheats to this side, and then you just got to win your one-on-one matchups everywhere else, at least one other area. Blocking will be very important, giving you the Tua just enough time that if the first read isn't there, that he can come off of it, get to someone else, because somebody's going to get open in man-to-man. Another example of them going split field, they don't run a ton of it, but they definitely, like to disguise some things. And even in a 1st and 15 situation, they'll run the ball, and their run defense, is, I would say, probably average overall. Like, they'll have their plays where they stop it pretty well. They'll have their plays where, people pick up a decent chunk run here and there, but I just don't think it's as comfortable when they have to play split field looks. Like most run defenses aren't. They're not as comfortable playing that. And if they can't stop the run with split field looks, I do like the outlook of this game for Miami's offense, at least. 3rd and 4, look what Spagnuolo loves to do. He's going to show some pressure pre-snap. He's going to be, playing man-to-man all game, and then they bring a zone, fire blitz, and they end up running cover 3 behind it. And there's something to work with there. They, run a little timing route, but everything, the pressure just throws it off. This is stuff that Tua's very good against. It's not Russ's strength to work versus the blitz and throw it over the middle. This is something I think that they'll try to do against the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have been very good against the blitz all year. So this is another area I do like the Dolphins to take advantage of. But, you never know with these types of things. They could turn into big negative plays. All it takes is one for sure, but got to be aware that they do like to disguise these things pre-snap and, just process that post-snap. Here we get to see a deep field shot, versus the Chiefs running some cover 6 here. Very interesting look, just throwing the deep post over the middle. This can definitely be something you can take advantage. Like, they're going to run some cover 2, cover 6. They haven't really disguised anything yet in this video, but, or like, other than that one last play, they haven't disguised too much with their safeties at least. Usually they do disguise a lot, where like it will rotate down to 1 here, showing 2, or they will show 1 pre-snap and then go into a split field look. They're playing quarters at the top here, and this deep half safety gets pulled by this corner route, and you get this post behind it. They end up running this, getting this look. They've scored against this coverage before, like they did it last year. Tyreek Hill scored against quarters to cover 6 multiple times, like versus the Niners, things like that. And just taking advantage of those deep shots, and then it really just comes down, can the offensive line give good time? They like to bring 4 a lot, so we'll see how that ends up with the battle. But the whole, most of the team is healthy, so this could be the best the Dolphins have looked like. They're, especially on both sides, like defense is fully healthy and the offense is getting pretty close. Crossers down in the red zone, like they run this cross, get Jerry Jeudy going in the back of the end zone. This is very, very difficult to guard in man-to-man, cover 1, things like that. You were just reading the safety has to help to one side, but even then, even though he goes to the side that they throw it to, at least cheats there, it's very difficult for a corner to cover across the field. Hopefully the Dolphins can start using some things like this. This worked really well for the Broncos on a couple times when they scored down here. Chiefs do like to play some cover 2 from time to time, Tampa 2 type stuff. I don't really want to see the Dolphins trying to run like sail or smash type things versus this, even though that stuff can work. I just don't think it's the strength of this offense. They've tried doing it against cover 2 throughout the year, and cover 2 is probably where they've struggled the most, like trying to get the ball down the field. I mean, that makes sense, but just if they do go into this, which a lot of teams have, just be able to run the ball effectively. It takes them out of it, and obviously taking what's given to you in the passing game, just quick dump off passes, because if this is what they're going to show early on, which they might, because teams have done this in the past, even teams that run a lot of man-to-man have played a lot of cover 2 against the Dolphins, and you got to be able to at least adjust a little bit, because they'll have to go back to it eventually, or what they're usually doing, like cover 1, things like that, if you're able to run the ball and get the ball out quickly and just pick them apart. 3rd and 10, pretty much on a lot of 3rd down situations, they like to bring pressure. Like, look at, they're running some man-to-man here, basically like almost 0, and then they bracket one of the receivers here to each side, and this guy just kind of plays the middle of the field. A little bit of cover 1, just blitz type of action, but they're going to bring pressure, so things, hopefully, someone's got to come open quickly, know where your hot is. Dolphins are usually pretty good against this, but it's just something they have to be aware of on 3rd down situations. 3rd and 5, Chiefs showing pressure again this time. Don't bring it. They end up, running some cover 1 out here, and they get the 1-on-1 shot. This time it is defensive pass interference, and Sutton wins his 1-on-1 battle. L'Jarius Sneed doesn't allow a ton of separation, which makes sense for Sutton. He's not really the separator type. They're over here basically doubling Jerry Jeudy, so you could see a situation similar to this if, they'd end up doubling, say this is Tyreek or Waddle or something like this, and you get isolated 1-on-1 down to the bottom. These are the opportunities you got to take advantage of in this matchup. Here's an example of the Chiefs running quarters down in the red zone versus 3-by-1, and this is just good disciplined defense. You can see how they distribute these route concepts very nicely, and it's a big time sack, and it was definitely a coverage sack because they held on to this for quite some time. They're just pretty disciplined back there on the back end. They are missing Nick Bolton, who's like their star linebacker, very good player, and you can just see how they end up taking everything away. Their safeties do a good job, linebackers do a good job as well, and they end up getting the sack on Wilson there. Last play then to break down, this is a touchdown to Courtland Sutton, another play where he works across the field on like a deeper cross down in the red zone. They love to run this little, work off script in this situation. They're matching across the field. This is, some more zone match stuff here, and this guy just loses, 22 loses him late. He tries to pass it off, miscommunication. So clearly, when they're not running man-to-man, where they're very comfortable, or just pure zone, and they're running like some zone match stuff, they can feel a little bit uncomfortable in these situations, especially when the quarterback gets a lot of time, which Russell does a good job of escaping the pocket and then finding Sutton in the back of the end zone. I think there's a chance to definitely, the Chiefs defense is good, Spagnuolo knows what he's doing, but I think there is a chance for this Dolphins offense, with all the talent they have, to be very effective, especially if they're able to get the running game going early. I do feel pretty good about everything else running pretty smoothly too. So as long as, I don't know how much of the crowd, how much that's going to play to effect. If they're very loud while the Dolphins are on offense, that could, be a problem. But if that's not the case, I think the Dolphins could, have a very good day offensively. So, you guys on the video, make sure to comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.